And now I'm going to take you on a tour of my characters across all my realms. This, just in the character select screen now. This is Category. He is my main. I'm one of those people who doesn't choose a different main every expansion based on what their class is doing. I just stick with Druid. I don't even change my spec. I literally stick with Balanced Druid. As you can see, because he is my main and the one I've spent the most time in, I have very much come up with a theme for him. The theme, thank you for asking, is green. He's got this face because he basically has the appearance of my original character I made in Burning Crusade, who is lost to time, down to the face. Except he had blue hair originally. I changed that to green when I decided to try and make him look cool. This is, I believe, a PvP season set. I did have a cobbled together, I think it was Mr. Pandaria leveling gear that was green and stuff. That used to be his transmog, but it was probably more unique than this, but this just looked cooler and it fits well. The cape is a Mists of Pandaria cape. I think it was from that same leveling set, and it fits this pretty perfectly. And this right here is not a staff you can get anymore. It is the Artifact Appearance Challenge variant, and I'm very glad I got it. There was a thing in Legion called the Mage Tower, and if you did it, it was hard to do. Balanced Druid, I admit, was apparently one of the easy ones, but it was still a personal challenge for me. It took me about 5 attempts, which, you know, people were saying they were doing like 70 attempts on their ones and stuff, but like I said, I'm not a huge like raider or like current content kind of a guy, so this was kind of a stretch for me to do, and I did it, and it was a huge feeling of accomplishment, and I doubt I'm ever going to transmog out of it. That's what we call an asshole. Who went past my window, but that's fine. Oh, hey, I didn't notice. The realms listed below will be offline. Oh, okay. I thought they were getting, like... Why are they getting maintenance? I thought they were getting merged for a second. They have said they're doing that soon. Anyway, that's my main. Also, Cenarian Circle Tabard as well, just because it kind of fits the coloration of, like, the green, the brown, and the white there. He's got a whole fucking theme. When the new pre-patch appearance stuff goes live, I'm not actually sure if I'm going to change him up much. I might toy with putting some leaves in his hair or something to make him look more druidic or something. But I've looked through the customization options, and I'm probably going to customize all my characters a bit, but I don't have any specific plans for him. I'll look through it when it actually hits live and see what looks good on him. Maybe we'll change his facial hair. That's probably what we'll do. Anyway, that's my main. This is Corvain. He's my boosted. I used a boost on it. I'll tell you which ones I boosted. I used a boost on this guy from the pre-order. I've never bought a boost individually. They've all been pre-order boosts. Because boosts are fucking expensive. Let's have a look at this. Also, I like leveling characters, so that's counterintuitive. But look, it's 49 quid. Jesus Christ. But you get it for free with a pre-order, so that's nice. Stormwind Guard, he's basically a Stormwind Guard. The Stormwind Guard transmog you can get from Warlords of Draenor garrisons, and the Tabard, you can probably get it from somewhere else as well, to be honest, at this point. The Tabard is just the regular old Stormwind Tabard that the guards use. This sword, I don't remember where I got it from. It might have been from one of the introductions to an expansion gave you this. It might have even been BFA. But that's where I got that sword appearance from. It's a very chonky sword. I can't see it being very effective, if I'm honest. Maybe it's like a blunt weapon. This is Amphicitus, my Dark Iron Dwarf. I have not... I mean, his belt I think is wrong, by the way. His belt needs to be retransmogged, and I have not come up with a staff for him yet. He just recently hit level 120. He's wearing his heirloom gear. He's wearing his... whatchamacallit, pyjamas, Dark Iron Dwarf pyjamas that you get for getting a Dark Iron Dwarf to level 110, which will be level 45, I believe, in pre-patch, unless they change out to 50. Wouldn't blame them if they did. Make more sense. And that's cool. Basically, to get this stuff, you have to go on from level 1 all the way up to level 50, and it's cool because it's plate-looking armour, but you get to wear it on a caster, and I've always thought Blizzard's plate armors looked the coolest, so I'm glad I got that. Also, I enjoyed putting cheek tattoos on him. He looks pretty cool with those. His Voidwalker is called Chargorg, thank you for asking. Virazard is my original Demon Hunter, but he's not the one I've played the most of. He's currently in Stormwind PvP looking gear, just because I couldn't find anything to make him look too purple out of the other Demon Hunter stuff. But he's got purple tattoos, he's got dark hair, as you can see there, it's back in a braid, because I realised I have way too many Night Elves with this fucking hairstyle. 2 now, but it used to be more. And he's got the purple glaives, which I'm pretty sure are from PvP, and that I was working towards with PvP, so I'm glad I got those. And yeah, he looks like a very purple boy. Grimslash is the 4th alt I ever made. He's a Fury Warrior. He wears Blackrock Orc armor set just because I thought it looked kind of cool at the time, but now I'm reconsidering because that looks weird. The way his feet just kind of fucking poke out the bottom there. It's hard to make Worgens look too cool because they look cool naked, but they don't look cool as like a race, and I think that's probably Blizzard's argument for not adding many new beast-like races in the game, because Worgen had so many clipping issues. They're not so bad these days, but they had so many clipping issues and a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, this is Grimslash, and there was a website. I don't know the name of the website anymore, sadly, but basically you would put your character into it, and they would come up with a model. And he used to wield twin axes. He probably will again in the future. Giant twin axes. He's not a sword boy, he's an axe boy. And I had that, like, I previewed the model, and I was like, holy shit. Out of all my characters, I really wanted Grimslash, because at the time they hadn't had the model update, and this website, the models that you can generate, and like 3D print out or whatever, only used the old character models. I don't know if that's changed now. I don't know if that's still in business even, but it was like £200 a statue, sadly, so I didn't do it. But I wanted it, and I was going to do Grimslash because he was still using his old character model and it made sense. But yeah, look at him, he's cool. This is Critimal, who we've been playing with all stream. He is my first hunter I ever made, my 3rd alt I ever made, and he has the beard that he always had, but he also used to have my main's hair, which flowed all the way down. But eventually I was like, you know what, it might make sense to give him more wild hair. But I'm considering changing him to a female Night Elf when that becomes a free option in the Shadowlands pre-patch, just because I don't have a female Night Elf, and I have loads of male Night Elves, so I just kind of want to switch it up a bit. And in Night Elven society, females are like the warrior type anyway, so it would make sense given that he's like the PvP warrior type character. He's his backstory, so I don't know what I'll do with him lore-wise, but yeah, there's that. Critigri is my 1st alt I ever made. Actually, he's not my 3rd, he's my 2nd alt, and I guess that makes Grimslash my 4th. I'm saying he's like my 3rd character, and Critigri is the 2nd character I ever made. Fun story behind Critigri, and look at that familiar hairstyle. I boosted Critigri. He was my first boost when I was playing Mr. Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor's pre-order went live, and I boosted him to level 90, and this was before I had hit level 90 on my main. I guess you could say I mained this guy for a few months. I remember logging into my Druid and being like, oh fuck, I remember all these abilities, because I played this guy so much. He was like level 87, and then I boosted this guy to 90. I was like, so this is what it's like to be max level. So that was cool. I have a lot of fun memories on this character. In fact, he might even be the one who's exalted with a Nether Drake mounts. I don't think this guy's exalted with Nether Drakes, which is fun to think about. I might have done that grind on this character, which is actually kind of annoying to think about, because if I want to get as many reputations as possible, I should do it all on one character. That's another reason why I don't swap mains every expansion, by the way. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun experiences with this guy. He's always been arcane. I kind of make my characters spec specific, like Beastmaster, Fury, obviously the DPS one, I always forget, Havoc I think, Destruction, and Arms. And yeah, I fell out of love with Arcane and Legion, so I've really not played this guy a lot since then. As you can see, he's only level 105. Stalwart is an alternate... Oh, he's also got the same hair, by the way, when you take the helmet off, but he's an alternate universe version of my main, lore-wise anyway, who died. He's a Frost DK, and as you can tell, I like purple. I really like this Death Knight set because it's purple, even though like the heroic version I think is like light blue and it makes more sense, and it looks like Lich King armor. I was like, no, I want to be purple, so this guy's purple. I haven't got much to say about him. Adamant is my paladin. He currently has a corrupted Ashbringer appearance, which I don't think suits him at all. I love paladin transmog, so I should really get this guy higher level, but since the Lightforged Draenei came out, I kind of fell out of love with dwarf paladins, so I haven't leveled him much. Retribution, obviously, and yeah, that's him. I kind of leveled my dwarf paladin and my Draenei Shaman side by side, but we'll get to him in a minute. Neverwarp is a boost. He was the boost I used for the Legion pre-order boost on him, I think. So he was level 100 when that came around, and I have a hard time getting into boosted characters, if I'm honest. A really hard time. But he's my Demonology Warlock. And yeah, I originally... Oh shit, that's a whole thing. Should we look through my deleted characters in a bit? I originally had a Dwarf Warlock who was going to be my Warlock, and I deleted him, and I was like, I haven't made a human yet. This was before I'd ever made a human, so that's fine. I was like, that's fine, we'll just delete him and make a human. Because I thought humans were boring, and then they got a graphical rework. I was like, hey, they're not so bad now. And I'm definitely going to customize the shit out of him to make him look a lot meaner when Shadowlands comes out. Like, maybe I'll give him like a scarred out eye and some messier hair or something. Right now he looks way too normal. Smark is my Shaman. I couldn't come up with a backstory for this guy to save my life, but I fucking love Draenei, how they look. And I have a criminally small amount of Draenei characters for how much I love Draenei, but this is my Draenei. He is an elemental shaman, and I really enjoyed leveling him up. But I just can't get back into playing him for some reason. This is Elismir. We're getting into like this set of characters, apart from like Corvain. They're the characters I all had at like level 100 around Legion. And I kind of like played the introduction to each one of their class order halls just to see what it was like. But other than that, I didn't touch a lot of them after that. So yeah, this is like my main crop of characters right here. Elismir was going to be the next one. I was leveling her via the Legion pre-patch invasions. So she really doesn't have a lot of playtime. She's also the only gnome, besides the one mecha gnome, that I've ever made. Because I don't like gnomes as like the whole, hey, we're gnomes, we're inventive. I don't, as you can probably tell by that impression, I don't like that side of them. So the whole point of Elismir was, or Elismir, I don't know how to fucking pronounce the name I made, but the whole point of her was that she didn't like that lifestyle and set off to find her own path, and she's very weird for a gnome. We're getting to the area of characters where I'm having a hard time, because I'm like, when the Shadowlands pre-patch hits, do I level you entirely through dungeons and get you to level cap? Or do I delete you and remake you and start you from level 1 and do story mode looking at you? Because she's a Windwalker monk, by the way. Windwalker monk is extremely fun to play, but I haven't played much of her. So, I don't know. And I don't think I've ever made another monk since. So, I don't know. I did make a panda once, but we'll probably get to that when we look for our deleted characters. Callus here, he, interestingly enough, was... I've got loads of playtime on him, even though he's only level 67, because he was an experiment I was doing where I wasn't streaming it or anything, but it was story mode. I was going through and reading all of the quest text and going through all of the quests, and I believe I even, when I got to level 60, I still had a few zones to go through, so I just did quests that didn't give me any XP just to finish the Eastern Kingdoms Alliance storyline, just so that I could read through all of it and experience it. And I was taking him through Outland 2, and the whole point was he had no heirlooms, and I wasn't going to transmog except for the daggers, which I did end up transmogging because I was too excited about them, because they're the coolest daggers in the game. But yeah, he's an assassination rogue, and I probably will delete him and remake him to play through Burning Crusade on stream at some point. Probably a long way from now, given that we want to do Wrath of the Lich King Horde first. But that's fine. Maybe I'll just do that privately anyway. Navarus is another rogue. He's the first allied race we're seeing here, apart from the Dark Iron Dwarf, I guess. He is a Void Elf, obviously. He is an outlaw rogue, so the whole idea is he's a Void Elf pirate. The reason I haven't played much of him is that I can't stand outlaw rogue gameplay, turns out. I don't like it at all. So that's an issue there. I might delete and remake him as a different spec, as a different rogue spec. Obviously you don't have to delete them to change their spec, but as I mentioned earlier, because of their whole issue with the whole leveling revamp, I would have to take him all the way through dungeons if I wanted to experience. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to experience a full expansion story, if you know what I mean. Sorry if I'm like rambling. It's just because I've got lots to get through here, and I am really passionate about all my characters, and I'm excited to show this on stream. I'm probably going to clip this out and upload it as its own thing, by the way. Tamul is my newest character. I've been playing him off stream. He is a Lightforged Draenei Paladin, also Retribution. Don't tell Adamant, but he's probably going to replace Adamant. Like, I'm not going to delete Adamant, but I really want a Lightforged Draenei Paladin, and I don't want to play healer or tank, so... Yeah, I think Lightforged Draenei can be really fucking cool looking, and when he's got all of his cool fucking transmog, all the plate up and all that kind of shit, he's going to look so fucking cool, dude. I'm very excited to play him. Diana is the sister of Aeonar, who we will get into later. Diana is a female Draenei priest. She's a shadow priest, and her whole story that I've written for her is void based, and she's very exciting. And yeah, I haven't played much of her, but I really like how female Draenei look. They're really fucking cool, like space go alien lasses. And yeah, I've got a lot to say about her because I haven't played much of her, but very excited to play more of her at some point, or maybe remake her and play through her expansion or something like that. Bolwick, who kind of sits between them at the minute based on the level he is my Kultiran Druid. I really like the Kultiran Druid forms. I still don't know what spec I'm taking him. Maybe Guardian. I don't know, Guardian would make the most sense, but look how wide he is. Cenarian raiment was not made for boys this wide. He looks a little bit weird, but it's the only transmog I can really give to him when he's level 28. Aeonar is the sister of Diana. She is also a priest, but she is a holy priest, and she's Lightforged, and there's a whole story I've written about that. If you're interested in that, go to category.wordpress.com and look for the Sisters of Light and Shadow. I don't know how well it holds up. I did write it a couple of years ago. But yeah, they've got a whole story going on that I really enjoy. She's basically one of my only characters that I've ever tried to be a healer on, and healing's not bad. It's just a little stressful. You can't take your attention off the game that much as you can when you're DPSing, so there's that. Here's a Mechanome. He's called Kortu. He is named after a Ratchet and Clank planet, and this is a Robo-Mutt. If you know what a Robo-Mutt is, I like you very much. Thank you for existing. But yeah, he's a Mechanome. Mechanomes can look dumb, but they can look good when they've got the heritage armor, so I mean, I think this is the only kind of Mechanome appearance I can really stomach, is the one I made, so I think Kortu looks cool, and I'm not going to touch him because he's level 21. That should scale down to level 10, hopefully, and I'll be able to take him through most of an expansion experience, and maybe just do one or two quests that don't award experience. Shadramar is my only Horde character on Chamber of Aspects. I made a mistake, I should not have done this. My original plan was to make the allied race Horde characters Chamber of Aspects only. I shouldn't have done this doesn't make sense. I can't play with my Horde I don't have any Horde friends on my Horde server, that's a shame. But if I did have them, I wouldn't be able to play with them on there. And because of that, I'm thinking, even though he's level 80 fucking 5, I might delete him and remake him over there. He's a Frost Mage. I really like how he looks, and I was basically paying attention to the Mr. Pandaria story last time I was playing through him. I'm not sure he even has heirlooms. I imagine he does though, because otherwise, you know, how's that transmog going to work every time you get a new piece of gear? I don't know. Maybe I was doing it that way though. My deleted characters, which we'll go through really quickly. I've been playing this game for a long time, so don't judge me. Kritigro is that Warlock, and if you're wondering why they're naked, it's because you used to have to delete heirlooms before you could delete the character. And I wasn't about to go and suit up in some other stuff before I deleted the character, but yeah. Kritigro is my deleted Warlock. That was my original Warlock that I was leveling through. I had some fun on this guy. But yeah. The idea was that he was, I guess, I made Adamant long after. He might have been long after he was even deleted, but I always had an idea of making a Dwarf Paladin and a Dwarf Warlock, and they're like brothers or cousins or something, but I need to get away from the whole family motif of my characters, because it doesn't get very interesting after a while if they're all related. Kritigrar is... we're leaving that there. Dead Hoofs is my Draenei Death Knight. That's the end of that story. I've got a lot of deleted Death Knights, if I'm honest, because I just could not get into the story. But I can restore any of these whenever I like, so that's nice. Bear with me, stream. I really need the loot. I was hoping to do this before I ended the stream, but after I ended the stream, but no. I'm back, and I'm disconnected. So, let me just relaunch the game. Sorry it took so long. I got caught up in something on my way back from Valoo, but I'm back now. And we are going to finish up the character look-a-doo. Let me just make sure that's booted back up correctly. I should have got rid of the Streamlabs, there you are. I should have got rid of a grey thing when I was doing this. Sorry. Let me do that now. Hang on. You can go down there for a second because I'll need you later. Okay, right. Sorry, so if you want to have a look at what all those characters look like without the grey box there, because that's surely what you're all clamouring to see. Here they are. Let's just pretend I did that way originally. Okay, and next up you'll see I have 8, 3 and 1 to go. Nagrand is my Horde Realm, so that's a bug. She does not look like that. She does not. Okay, she's not supposed to be holding one of those. She's supposed to be holding 2 of these. In fact, she's not supposed to be holding these at all. She's supposed to be holding 2 swords, because that's what Zaveris says. She uses swords instead of... But yeah, this is Zaveris. This is my Horde main. She's a Havoc Demon Hunter. I play her way more than I do Virizard. I used her to experience all of the Horde side BFA content, which is better than the Alliance side BFA content, because Zoldazar has dinosaurs and Kultiras has politics. So there's that. And Lady Ashvane. Honfir is the pre-order fucking boosted character that I used for BFA. Again, I don't know why he's only wearing 1. I think that's a bug. But he's a Guardian Druid. He's a tank, wouldn't you know? I actually made a tank. And this bus is going past really slowly. You can probably hear it. Bye bye bus. The reason why I didn't play him much at all, in fact, his playtime, let's have a look at what his playtime is real quick. The reason I haven't played him is because I was doing a pre-patch event, and it's all about the burning of Teldrassil, and he didn't fit into that event at all, and it just felt weird and dumb, so I stopped playing, and then I just never logged back into him after that. So I should do, really. What's the playtime on you played? 1 hour 57 minutes. Oh boy! This is Blight. I like Blight. Blight is a Affliction Warlock, and I haven't actually written his backstory, but the general idea of Blight is that he... I don't know why I said that way, but generally... basically, he was a mage in Dalaran before it turned into a floating city, and he practiced fell magic, and they caught him at it, and they chopped off his head. They didn't chop off his head, but they killed him for it, and he got raised as an undead when the Forsaken invaded that area, and he's fucking pissed off that they did that because he was using it for good. So now he's just gonna use it for evil. Who gives a shit anymore? He basically is a Sylvanas loyalist, or he was before I knew the end of her story, and she basically abandons her loyalists. So we'll have to figure something out for that. But yeah, that's Blight. He's a lovely fellow. Lokresh is a Mag'har Orc Hunter, and this here is Lone Fang. They kind of have a bit of a backstory as well, but it's not particularly complicated. Just basically, he's a bit homesick. He doesn't feel at home on Azeroth. He feels very alienated and out of place, and he doesn't really have many friends, and he's kind of a loner. And he met this wolf that came through the portal with him from Draenor, and that wolf is his friend, and he's called Longfang because he's lonely. So yeah, big orcs sometimes do cry. So that's his thing. Lombax is my Volpera. He is an enhancement shaman. He has 2 big hammers, and he's not afraid to use them. And he is a Lombax. No, he's not. He's a Volpera. I'm super happy I got the name Lombax because it took me a while to unlock the Volpera, and I was worried it would be taken. And quite miraculously, it wasn't taken. And I'm super fucking happy about it. And he's probably going to be one of the characters I level through Shadowlands pre-patch stuff, because I really like how the Volpera look. I think they're really fucking cool. Especially since the only race I've never really played is a goblin, and this is basically the goblin model, so it's basically an entirely new race from my perspective because of that, because I've never seen the goblin stuff, so that's cool. Maybe I'll make a goblin one day. Maybe we'll do that, because we won't have to go through the goblin star area, but I've never actually done that, so I probably should do that. Anyway, Zar. This is Zar. He's my Zandalari troll, and he looks really cool, and he's going to be, I've realised, a balanced druid. I've never made another balanced druid. In fact, I've never really leveled another druid. Maybe he will be a cat, actually. Maybe I'll do feral. Anyway, I really like their forms. They're my favourite druid forms out of the new allied races, so very excited for that. Then we've got Golgor, very simple. I think he's arms, actually. I think he's a Tauren arms warrior. And I did a whole blog thing. I say a whole blog thing, I think I got one entry in, which was going to be the travels of Golgor, and I wrote him a whole backstory, and then I was going to like update his story as he travelled through the world with screenshots and stuff, but that's just one of my many abandoned projects, and I'll probably remake him if I ever play a Tauren, but I'm not sure if I'll actually do a Tauren warrior, so who knows. I mean, what's the point of doing a Tauren when I've got High Mountain Tauren unlocked anyway, so I don't know. And then finally Lumbulos, who's actually a fairly recent character. He is another Retribution Paladin, but I basically finished getting the Heritage Armour for the Blood Elves on Zaveris, and I wanted to level a Blood Elf with the Heritage Armour and Golden Eyes, because I've never made one with Golden Eyes. So yeah, that's him. And as for deleted characters, I've got Bulwark. I did warn you about these Death Knights. I've got Bulwark, who has a shit name. That's probably why I deleted him, because it's like Bulwark, as in like you have a shield, but he was originally a tank, but clearly I went Frost in the end. But yeah, his whole thing was, and we might actually remake this guy with a better name for our playthrough, but the whole idea was that he was going to be my Death Knight tank, and yeah, that didn't happen eventually. That didn't happen in the end, but yeah. And then Double Dead, who, as you may be able to tell, is called Double Dead because he's died twice to become a Death Knight, so I thought that would be fun. Yeah, he's an undead Death Knight, and he's just, I think he's Frost, but this was back when Frost used two-handed swords, whereas nowadays they use two one-handed swords like this guy does. So yeah, I deleted those guys. Now we're going to, when I find it, Magferodon. Do you know why we're going to Magferodon? I kept it hidden at the time, but this, oh shit, do I have to make a character to see my deleted characters? Shit. Okay. Okay. So this was our stream realm. So Who Needs Gear is here. You know, we got him to level 19 and shit was starting to hit hard, but that's all going to be changed soon anyway, so there's no point in keeping him. Sarenza, remember Sarenza, our mage? For some reason, I remembered her as a hunter, but she's quite clearly a mage. And Niessa, who we leveled for a bit on this stream. Remember those days? That was only like a year or two ago. They're all still there. I can restore them if we ever do decide to carry on with our adventures. But for now, I have no plans to do so. Also, level 1 characters do not go somewhere where you can remake them, so you have to be level 10 before it gets put in the deleted character database. Anyway, moving on, Argent Dawn is an RP realm. RP realms fascinate me, and I've tried a few times to get into RP. Here is Galstan, the hunter. I did a very lengthy backstory on him, but I did it entirely on Total RP free, which then got uninstalled, and now I've lost all of it, so that's Galstan. Toledar is the name of my mage. Basically his story is that he failed to get into the High Elf Mage Academy, or whatever the equivalent of that would even be, and he's trying to make his way through the world as a failed mage. And then the version we have on the live server is like him later down the line when he's way better at it. And then Edrig is a very unique character. I leveled him entirely through professions. He is a blacksmith. I even made a guild for him, and everything he wears is something that he has crafted. Look at that low poly bird I've just noticed. Everything he wears is something that he has crafted, and he is only allowed to kill mobs when they are in the way of ore. He levels up entirely by mining and smithing, and the occasional mob he has to kill. So that's Edrig. As you can tell, he's not very high level because that's an insanely long project, but I like to play him occasionally. I have no deleted characters on this server to restore. And finally, on Karazhan, we have Shadow Madman. You might be thinking, Christian, what kind of name is Shadow Madman? I'll tell you what kind of name Shadow Madman is. Shadow Madman is the name of my very first character, who I made in Burning Crusade on this very realm. And to be fair, that character was a druid, but I figured if I'm going to remake Shadow Madman, he should be a rogue. And the whole idea, this used to be a PvP realm, so this was going to be like a PvP character. And I think I have a few other, Rend, who I think we did some streaming on, but given that we've got Corvain now, we no longer need Rend to level through with him. So yeah, I think we were streaming with him fairly recently actually, so but again, I can restore him if we ever do decide to continue doing like a war mode thing. But if we're going to do a war mode thing, I'd prefer to do that on Chamber of Aspects, you know. And then Sadus, who is basically Tamul. Don't need him, I've got Tamul. I didn't realise, I think I basically made Tamul and leveled him a bit. I realised I'd already done it. And I was like, well, I'd rather have him on Chamber anyway. So that's all of my characters. Thank you for watching this stream. Thank you for listening to my ramble. As you can see, I like this game quite a bit. But I'm going to be ending the stream now. Oh, that's the wrong screen. There we go. So thank you for sticking around and watching what did turn out to be a 3-hour stream in the end. I will see you in the next one.